Today I'm going to show you how to take a Dollar Tree square jar here and turn it into your very own homemade candle. Before we begin today, please consider subscribing to my channel. I have a bunch of DIY videos on stuff that you can do around your house if you're crafty like myself, and I also show you how to fix an ugly lawn and make it look nice and green and lush. So the first step in the candle making process is to grab your jars. Like I said earlier, these are the Dollar Tree square jars. They're obviously $1. They're very inexpensive. They're 4 inches by 4 inches around. Here is a little template here. If anybody wants this template, please comment below and I'll get it to you. The key to the Dollar Tree candle jars are to place your wicks diagonal here and not across from each other. When the melt pool melts down, you want them to be diagonal. They tend to melt better when they're diagonal. So obviously you need wicks. I've gotten wicks from 2 different sites, Candle Signs and The Flaming Candle. I both really like those websites. They have great fragrance oils and they have a lot of great candle making supplies. Here, this is actually from Candle Signs, but you can actually get these wicks also on The Flaming Candle. These are the HTP 83 wicks. These are all cotton wicks. There's no metal in them, and they're great wicks to use, and we're going to use them today. So we're ready now to place our wicks. So what you want to do is if you don't have a template like myself, but I am going to use the template, I'm going to take my jar, put it over top of the template. You're going to take your HTP 83 wick here. What I'm using here is just an old pen. Just take the insides out. Basically what you want to do is feed the wick through there. You want to take your hot glue gun, put a little hot glue on there, and then just place it down into the jar. And if you don't have a template, what you want to do is you want to try and keep it as far away from the tip of the jar as you can, and you want to have them spaced about 1 inch apart diagonally in the middle here. And you're going to do the same thing in your other jar. So now that you have your wicks placed in your jar, the next step is to weigh out the wax that you need for these jars. They're 12-ounce jars, so we're going to measure out 1 pound and 8 ounces, and this is just an ordinary food scale. I use it for my candle making obviously here, and I actually use it to weigh out fertilizer for my grass seed and for my grass as well. So here, this is the 6006. You can buy this from Candle Signs or the Flaming Candle. A lot of candle companies out there sell this. It's a 70% paraffin and a 30% soy wax, meaning, for instance, Yankee Candle, their candles are actually 100% paraffin. So this wax here, it's a white wax. It's a little bit better than the Yankee Candle. It's a little bit more healthier. So the 6006 here, it comes in block form here. It doesn't come in the flake form like the soy does. This is a 10-pound slab. Obviously you can see I've used some already. So what you want to do is cut the bag open. You can just buy one of these choppers at the dollar store. And what I like to do is just place it in there and chop off what I need. And then come over to my scale here. Make sure you turn it on. And whenever you use a scale, you always want to make sure you tear it down to 0. And then you just want to take your blocks here and just place it on. And then we're just measuring out 1 pound and 8 ounces because we know that's what we need for this. So we need just a little bit more. And that's good enough. If we go over a little bit, that's fine. So we have a 1 pound and 9 ounces. So the next step is you want to take your pouring pitcher here. Again, you can buy this off Candle Signs, the Flaming Candle, any candle site. And what you want to do is just place your wax into your candle pitcher here. And then what our setup we have today, it's called the double boiler method. Basically, I got this pot here. You can get this at the thrift store. You can use your own pot at home. You just want to put a little bit of water in here. I have a heat plate here. I actually bought this off Amazon for 20 bucks. Or you could use your oven, but please do not place your pitcher directly on an open flame. You always want to do it this way with the double boiler method. So once you put your wax, like I said, in the pitcher here, what you want to do is you just want to place it into your pot here, and then you're going to just let the wax melt down. And once the wax melts down, you want to take it off and then you can put your fragrance oil in
So
there.
if you plan on making a lot of candles, what I suggest you do is looking into buying one of these. They actually sell these pre-made, but I made this one myself. It's a Presto Pot, and then I basically did screwed a hole in here with a drill bit where it makes grooves, so you can screw your valve in here, and then you can easily fill this pot up with a lot of wax, and it's a lot easier to do. And you can set your temperature in the back to 180, so it's pretty easy to do. Like I said, they also sell these fully made. It's a little bit more expensive, but I will leave a link to the product in the description below. And also, if you're curious how I made this, please comment below with your question, and I will get back to you. And if you're even more curious, I might do a future video on how I made this.
So while your wax is melting and burning down, what you can do is actually measure out the fragrance oil that you need for your wax. So today we did 1.9 pounds of wax. So what we want to do is, you can do a range from 6% to 10% percentage of fragrance oil. Today we're going to do 9%. I find that to be very good with the 6006 wax and the HTP wicks for this particular jar. Here we have Fraser Fir. This is from Candle Signs. It smells really good. It smells just like a Christmas tree. We have Holly Berry. This is another great Christmas scent. And then this is actually from the Flaming Candle. I actually really like this one. It's called Alpine Cheer. It has a little bit of a Christmas tree slash like pine cone smell to it. So the next step, we're going to weigh out our fragrance oil now. So you want to turn back on your food scale here. You want to place, this is just another dollar store measuring cup. Place that onto your scale. Make sure you tear it down to 0. We're going to take our Fraser Fir. We know we're going to use 9% today, so that's 2.25 ounces. So what we want to do is just pour it out. And there we go, 2.25 ounces. And I'm going to have the calculation that I did above for you guys to use. So our wax has melted down. I'm going to use a thermometer here. I bought this at Harbor Freight. It's one of these digital kind. And we're at about 180 right now. And that's where we want to be for our wax to be melted to. So I took it off the double boiler that we did. And then we have our fragrance oil laid out now. We have our 2 wicks all placed in our jars here. Here's just another dollar store big spoon here, or whatever you want to call this thing. And this will just use to stir our fragrance oil in. So all you want to do is just take your fragrance oil and just pour it into your pitcher here. And you just want to stir for about a minute or 2. So once you have it stirred for about 2 minutes, what you want to do next is take your pitcher and you want to pour them into your candles here. And you want to leave about a ½ inch to an inch at the top of space here, because once it's all cooled down, you're going to need to trim your candles to you know, a specific length here, because you don't want to keep, obviously you need to cut these wicks down. And then the last step for your candles to cure is use these are for chip bags actually, and you can buy these off of Amazon. They come in like a bag of like 25 or 20 or something like that. They're real inexpensive. You could use popsicle sticks if you want. You can cut a hole in it, but I've had these for a while now. I really like them because you just want to make sure that your wicks, they're nice and centered, and you want to make sure that they are nice and tight, so when the candles cure, they hold those wicks in there nice and tight for you. So now that our candles have cured now, this has been 6 hours since they've cured, and you can see they're pretty solid now. What you want to do is you want to take off the clips here.
And if you plan on making a lot of candles, you can buy these little rubber washers. When you trim your candle wicks, you want it to trim to 1/4 of an inch. That's the correct, always the correct height to cut your wicks at. So for these washers, what's real nice is you can just slip them down there because you know that they're the correct height there, and you just clip them off with a pair of scissors. And there you go. Or if you want, you can take a pair of wick trimmers and you can cut it down that way as well. And then you can just throw out the wick trimmings. And there you go. Once you have your wicks trimmed, what you can do to evenly distribute the wax at the top here, what you can do is you can take a heat gun and you can just run it around the top real lightly here, and you can evenly distribute the wax so it has a cleaner look to it. I'm going to leave a link in the description below for these wood lids here. I'm in a DIY candle making group on Facebook, and a lady on there makes these lids, and they fit real nicely on these Dollar Tree square jars. I hope you guys found this video very helpful today. These candles, they came out real nice, as you can see. They make great gifts for family members and friends. Just one quick tip: when you do hand these out or you burn these at home, please tell people to trim your wicks after they burn them. You always want to trim your wicks to that 1/4 inch. So if you can, pick up a pair of these wick trimmers here. I'll leave a link in the description below for these that I use, or you can use a pair of scissors. It's very important to keep your wicks trimmed to the proper length. They will burn better, and they will burn more evenly. Thank you for watching this video. Please, if you can, subscribe below. And if you have any questions at all, please comment below and I will get back to you.